Mitakipi, we started creating a dictionary, and this is kind of how and why we're creating a dictionary. So if what needs to happen is our elders need to be first and foremost, and their definitions and their thought needs to be needs to be elevated within all dictionary definitions. If our elders say Akhainja means standing sacred, then that's exactly what it means. The etymology, the history, the linguistics and stuff. People need to understand that things change too. Okay. Heja, weak, it doesn't mean standing sacred, but if our elders say it, then that's what it means, and that's what it means now, and that's what needs to come first. All right. Here's another reason why the people, the Dakota people, need to have control over dictionaries, to be able to edit it whenever we hear something, or we can add something or change something to fit better what our elders are saying. All right, because look at an example, Wakan, to be on the new Lakota dictionary, and all dictionaries is just building off of the dictionaries before it. So it's 2020 now. I say it's time to build off of the dictionaries that come before what we're doing. The new Lakota dictionary, the Riggs, the Bushel, all these other dictionaries. And so that's all we're doing. Just what everyone did before us. Okay, so Wakan. The other thing is going to use the LIO, the Lakota Iapi Okolakichi orthography that was created by first language fluent speaking elders and teachers. And they voted on that in 1995. They voted on that unanimously. They went through every sound in Lakota in words, and then they flipped out every sound in the way each one of them wrote it, and then they voted on each single sound, and then they moved on to the next one, and that took a long time. Once they reached a consensus, then they kept on going. So we're reclaiming our definitions, we're reclaiming our dictionaries, we're reclaiming even the way we write or choose to write our language. Okay, and we're also reclaiming the control of all these things, the control of a dictionary, to be able to edit whenever we want to edit, to add our elders' views, their teachings with this. So if you look at Wakan in the New Lakota Dictionary, to be endowed with spiritual power, be sacred, holy, spiritual, to be mysterious, incomprehensible, magical, mighty, the sacred spiritual power, sacredly, magically. I don't think any elder would call Wakan magical, majestic, But anyway, so if you go to Albert Whitehat's definition, Kan is life or energy. Energy that can give life or take life. Energy that can be used for creation or destruction. Good and evil are within this energy, and both are equally powerful. Wa is any creation that has Kan in it. White Hat, Rosebud, Zuya, page 175. So a couple things. There's no attribution in here. Where did they get these example sentences? I mean, it's kind of obvious. A lot of it comes from Deloria and Bushel, but there's no attribution of who said these things, what tribe they were from, and so that's why I think it's important in our dictionary that we attribute to whose definition it was, who said it. For example, toke echacha, aimlessly, at random, without serious intent, as a pastime. That's exactly how Ala Deloria defined it in Dakota text. All right, so the other dictionaries a lot heavily relied on Dakota text. So Deloria says that on page 1. That's the example sentence. That's her definition of where it comes from. We attribute it, okay, to Deloria Dakota text, and we attribute what tribe she's from, Dakota. All right, and this is how dictionaries are put together, and this is how we're gonna do it. A lot of the previous dictionaries come from Dakota text. Where they also come from is Bushel, Lakota Tales and Texts, and his dictionaries. Okay, but we can also use sources from fluent speaking elders like Zuya, like reading and writing the Lakota dictionary. All right, and we can use other dictionaries like the New Lakota Dictionary, because all the New Lakota Dictionary did was build off of others' work and add things that they heard from elders. So this is how you add things. So if you look at Siguluha, to take one's own feet. This isn't in the New Lakota Dictionary, but this comes from my Lala Oliver Brownwolf, who's from Cheyenne River, confirmed by Lala Tom Redbird from Cheyenne River, and he got that we got that sentence from this website right here, Lakota Speakster Story. All right, so he uses it right here. Shugmani tu tchankaki washtecha pike cha obwanchog wiyohiya patakia siglu hapike. All right, so he uses siglu hapi right there. So what does that mean now? To take one's own feet. It's a euphemism for to take off. And I didn't know what that meant, so I asked Lala Tom, and that's what he said, to take off. So then we have the attribution. We attribute it to Oliver Brownwolf, where we got it, and then the website where we got it from, and the tribe where we got it from, and who it was confirmed by, Tom Redbird, fluent speaking elder. Okay, so that's how attribution works. That's one way from different texts that we see out there. All right, so two words, akipan, is not in the New Lakota Dictionary, and opemini ichie is not in the New Lakota Dictionary. How did we get these words? All right, so opemini ichie, to wrap oneself, itself around something, somebody. I asked my dad about this, I asked others, and they said, yeah, that's what it means. So, cha zuzecha kile iyeina wahochbi o ohomini opemini ichie. Dwayne Hollowhorn Bear said this in the Wolakota YouTube video, The Meadowlarks, which was posted March 2018. Okay, and so that's where we got that from. How did we get that? How do you go about getting definitions from different places? So here's the raw file of Dwayne Hollowhorn Bear, and he's telling this story, and I don't have it lined up. Yep, it's right there. So he just said it. But how do you get that? Is you transcribe it, and this is in the NLD the NLD orthography. But see, he used it right there, and he's talking about a snake finds a nest and he wraps itself around it, right? So that's one way you get definitions, and then you ask others, you ask people who understand the language, who can hear that language, and then you attribute it. So this word comes from Dwayne Hollowhorn Bear, who comes from Rosebud. He uses another word, akipan. He says hektakia zuzecha he akipan. He says that with hocha tuwa woni chukte kinhe ole iaya ye mie wochi chukte shni eina kia iaya. Dwayne says that in Wolakota YouTube on that same video. He says that later on. So holler at somebody. Akipan. Alright, so, and then this definition comes from Albert and Zuya. Pretty cool. And then Iktomi. Doke Echacha. This comes from Dakota Text with Albert. So we have Deloria with the example sentence, and then we have Albert's definition. The generic term for all spiders, it is also the term for the trickster. There are many stories concerning the tricks Iktomi pulls on living beings, including humans. These stories are often wild and exaggerated, and some concern pretty harmful behavior. How he tricks people into really bad situations. If we're not careful, however, we can do the same thing. So we tell these stories to caution against it. So there's the teaching within the definition of what it means. And here's how it conjugates, using, and I attribute it to the NLD, right? Because the NLD's dictionary, they got it from everyone else. So that's what I think it's time for, is to reclaim, rebuild, put this back into the hands of our elders, back into the Lakota people, back in our hands, so we can edit it whenever we feel necessary, and we can add not just the linguistic thought, but the Lakota thought from our elders and their teachings. Ha, hechitualo. Hechegala e